The news is also live on DSTV channel 279. You can join us there and also on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Godwin Asidwa. We take the details now. Director Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bequin, says persons with respiratory challenges should be more cautious due to the current weather conditions. This advice comes in the wake of the Ghana Health Service issuing guidelines on how to adjust to such conditions to avoid contraction of various ailments.
So to address this harsh weather conditions, we are advocating or recommending that Ghanaians should actually improve on their water intake. We are also saying that in some particular cases of children and the elderly, due to wearing the mask. And then we also say that those who have conditions like asthma should make sure that they carry along their inhalers and make sure they are also be sticking to their medications as prescribed. The other issue we want to put across is that this harsh weather condition predisposes Ghanaians to meningitis. I think there's a record of reported meningitis cases in certain parts of the country. But meningitis is actually treatable. So what we are advocating or asking Ghanaians is that when you have a fever and a headache, don't always assume that it is malaria. I think that's one challenge that we've had. In some instances, people assume that every fever is malaria. They will self-medicate. That may lead to a bad outcome. So we are saying that if you have a fever, a headache, report to health facility and then you'll be managed.
Let's get into the mood of the State of the Nation address. During the electioneering campaign in 2016, President Akufo-Addo made a number of promises to restore challenges confronting the health sector, including improving the National Health Insurance Scheme and infrastructure, and achieve universal health coverage for all Ghanaians. My colleague Sarah Penkrong has been engaging the public and has found this report.
Over the years, Ghana has witnessed a number of key public health emergencies which have dominated discussions year after year. The advent of the coronavirus disease in the country in the last 4 years created a lot of gaps in the country's health system since the management of other critical diseases was neglected. Maternal child health, non-communicable diseases, HIV, TB, malaria and care for kidney disease patients, which is now expected to be captured on the NHIS, were among the diseases that suffered when COVID-19 surfaced. The illegal charges from National Health Insurance Scheme card holders at health facilities remain topical among complaints. Though treatment for childhood cancer has been enrolled with the NHIS, it is said to be ineffective.
Health insurance.
I don't use health insurance. I was wounded and I paid all my expenses through cash because I don't rely on government support.
Health insurance
The insurance must be functional right after renewal, not after 3 months. It's frustrating.
The no-bed syndrome still persists.
Last week, my sister ARA.
My sister died last week after being transferred to another hospital due to lack of beds.
Brain drain in the health sector also remains a challenge. Clearance for the employment of healthcare workers also remains an issue. The Agenda 111 hospitals meant to bridge the infrastructure gap in the health sector are yet to be completed. The La General Hospital redevelopment project has also come under scrutiny.
Even if I speak, they won't act, so there is no need. I am not expecting anything better from him, for we the elderly.
You have heard from a cross-section of the populace. We can only wait and see if their expectations will be met by the president.
Let's turn our attention to Labour now. According to Labour, the current economic conditions, coupled with taxes, depreciation of the cedi and meagre earnings, have worsened the plight of workers, and that is the state of the nation. Ahead of the presentation of the State of the Nation address by President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday, February 27, 2024, our Labour correspondent Daniel Opoku engaged leadership of organised Labour in Accra and filed this report.
Organized Labour recounted the current economic conditions affecting workers. It cited the depreciation of the cedi and weak macroeconomic fundamentals which have affected salaries. Although the government, after negotiations with Labour, adjusted salaries by 23%, Labour is of the view that the increase in taxes have chiseled out the meagre earnings of workers. President Akufo-Addo is expected to present State of the Nation address on Tuesday, February 27. But the leadership of Organized Labour says it has no hope that the president will make any major policy decisions on the economy.
Unemployment has gone so high. How can you say that you have managed the economy in such a way that things have improved when people have no jobs? Prices of goods and things have gone up. Transportation has gone up. Fuel has gone up. The cedi is on a free fall. Where is the economic management? How successful is this? So he could come and say whatever he wants to say, but for us, the people who manage ourselves, because we feed families, we have dreams, and we won't be convinced if he says any other thing.
In his last State of the Nation address, I expect him to say goodbye to us. Really? Oh yes. I don't have too much hope and expectation in what the president is going to address the nation on. I don't. I mean, the situation is getting dire and dire by the day. Value of incomes are dwindling by the day. Prices of goods and services are skyrocketing by the day. We haven't gotten ourselves out of the economic quagmire that we pushed ourselves into.
All is not well with us. So we are currently with the IMF, meaning we are currently at the intensive care unit, seeking for medication and for revival to come out. Look at the 2023 budget. We spoke extensively about the issues, how we can mobilize resources. The difficulty is this. We will sometimes say something A, then we'll go and be doing B. That has been our woes. Lack of discipline. And at the end of the day, like I've told you, anytime something goes wrong, workers will be asked to fasten their seatbelt or tighten their seatbelt.
We do not expect anything extraordinary this year. The reason even being that the salary negotiations or increment for this year has already been negotiated and implemented. The 23% has been implemented in January. We are expecting additional 2% to be added in July. So technically speaking, they have done everything that they can do.
You're still watching the morning news here on TV3. My name is Godwin Asideba. Let's talk politics now. The campaign team of the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says all the individuals whose names are part of the list of the party's manifesto committee were contacted prior to the release of their names. Two members of the committee members, Charles Osei Sibe and Ochame Kwame, have declined to join the committee after seeing their names on the list. With concerns being raised about not consulting the individuals first, campaign spokesperson Dennis Miracle Abuaji said they were duly informed to join the committee. There's more.
You can't just get up and put somebody's name on a piece of paper. But the point also is that even with employment, you give the person an offer letter first, right? Yeah. You ask the person to respond within a certain number of days if he is willing to take up the job or not. And there are times where even though the person puts himself applied, went through interview, he may still get back to you and say, I thank you for this offer, but I will not accept it. So it's not out of place. Well, I think the issue is not just it being a worry to us, but I think it should be a worry for us as a country because it boils down to the exact point I was making, that the kind of environment we've created for ourselves is making it very difficult for people with specialities and expertise and certain experiences and skills to boldly contribute to national development. I mean, if I read as of ACB's statement, it's quite clear that it's the same situation. He is worried that by virtue of being named as part of a manifesto committee, people will align him with a political party fraternity, and it's something that we have to respect.
Economist Dr. Dusa Akodia says government must prioritize key aspects like agriculture and employment to help the economy sustain its current gains.
In this worrying situation, I mean, the economic challenges that the whole economy in the world is they are facing, you want to secure the essential, the provision of the essential commodities like food, medicine, water, fuel. You don't want a situation where there's shortage of food, water, and people are queuing for fuel, etc., etc. You don't want that. So, and these things are already indicated in the budget, in the 2024 budget. The government will prioritize. In fact, they have allocated more resources to the agricultural sector. So they want to make sure that food is available and affordable. And then they move to water, then medicine and fuel. And they have also prioritized creative arts and then tourism. And they've added youth and sports. So these are the areas that they have already indicated in the 2024 budget, which I'm sure the president in his address at the SONA would, stress or place more emphasis on.
Let's cross to the Savannah region now because the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says the next NDC administration will be extending ICT infrastructure to educational institutions by setting up Wi-Fi zones in tertiary and secondary institutions to advance academic work of students, touting the track record of the NDC in improving education at the Savannah College of Education in Daboya. John Dramani Mahama says education under the next NDC administration will be a priority.
We will make sure every public tertiary institution, secondary institution has a Wi-Fi zone. And so if you have to do your work and you have your laptop or your tablet, if you go there, you can connect to the Wi-Fi and do your homework, do whatever you have to do, and then you can submit your work to your lectures. And so I just want to assure you that NDC has expanded education more than any other government in history. And we're going to continue to do that because the livelihood of our children depend on it.
So in the camp of the NDC, the opposition National Democratic Congress has assured it will pursue all persons involved in the Butch Japan royalty deals. According to the North Tongue MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, the party will not leave perpetrators off the hook until they have fully accounted for the $12 million expended on the deal. My colleague Chris Senyali has more in this report.
President Akufo-Addo halted the Ejapa deal in 2021 following concerns raised by civil society groups. But even before that suspension, $12 million had already been spent.
As the IPO is now suspended, until that suspension is lifted, we can't move on with Ejapa.
How much have you spent so far in relation to Ejapa?
I'll get the exact figure, but it should be around 12 million. 12 million? Yes.
Dollars?
$12 million, right? $12 million.
This revelation by the CEO of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Edward Nanayao Kranteng, did not sit well with the Public Accounts Committee, which demanded urgent answers.
Just told the committee that it has been put on hold. So we're also going to write in the report, it has been put on hold. The president said put it on hold, so we don't know why. Meanwhile, we have incurred $12 million. If you convert it to cedi, it's over 100 million Ghana cedis. That can put up a number of school infrastructure in my constituency and your constituency as well. The Rena Unit at Kolibu will also benefit because of 4 million Ghana cedi, the place was closed down. A number of people died.
Drawing from the sharp criticisms, the National Democratic Congress says it will not give up on its desire to get every person liable prosecuted and dealt with.
When we come to power, all of those responsible, look, $12 million. If I had $12 million, all of my problems would be solved. And I would even extend support to the other affected constituencies. We would not come to power and repeat these things. Number two, we are going to make sure that people are held accountable. Because if this is not causing financial loss to the state, then I don't know what causing financial loss is.
According to the North Tongue Member of Parliament, the wanton dissipation of resources by the NPP government cannot be overlooked, stressing the need to cut wasteful expenditures to drive growth.
What is happening now under this Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime is like a free-for-all. There is no elder in the room. Everybody is on a looting spree. It's as though a looting brigade has descended upon this nation. And you've been hearing me in other sectors. Look, I can't point to one sector where we don't have a scandal.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says the NDC has its own strategy and is confident of victory in the 2024 elections. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Away from the NDC, it has been a danger in the waiting, one that threatens the lives of road users and pedestrians. Markings on major roads in the capital Accra have faded or are mostly invisible, increasing the risk of road crashes, especially at night. My colleague Christian Yali again tells the story of a crash survivor and highlights this region public concern needing urgent attention. There's more.
No one dreams to be involved in a road accident because its consequences can be deadly. For nearly 2 years, Foster Annan was grounded after his right thigh broke into pieces. An attempt to swerve a pothole in the night almost cost his life and caused him excruciating pains.
What I can remember is I got out from the car and then people came around. So within 2 seconds to 3 seconds, I felt I was going down. My right side, I was going down. So that I realized my thigh was broken into pieces.
Life seemed like a horrible nightmare and he wished he could put an end to it. The scars are still fresh in his mind.
It comes naturally. It comes. Then I will say to myself, no, I have to move the car. It can't be like that forever. At least I have to put the fear aside and then drive. From the knee to the waist, the bone is just one, and then it is broken into pieces. So I was lifeless. I couldn't move, I couldn't go. Even if I have to use the washroom, the restroom, they had to carry me.
Several factors contribute to road crashes in Ghana, one being faded road markings. Road markings are an important element of road infrastructure. They are a key visual guide for road users and warn road users in case they are about to veer off their lanes when driving. But the maintenance of road markings has been poor, increasingly exposing road users and pedestrians to danger. Marshal Mensah Kwajo Bobobi is a transport consultant.
The absence of road markings on the road make it very difficult for them to maintain themselves in the lanes. We call something lane discipline. Lane discipline has to do with you driving in your lane, assuming you're on a two-way traffic, where you have one lane going in and one lane coming. You are supposed to maintain yours and leave the other for the oncoming vehicles.
He stresses the need for periodic remarkings of the lines, highlighting their crucial role in road safety.
There are some that give us guidance or give us information that, oh, okay, maintain this lane if you are going straight, or take this lane if you are going right, or take this lane if you are making a U-turn. And there are some that give us restrictions or prohibiting. They tell us not to do something.
Pedestrian deaths account for nearly 36% of all road traffic accidents on a yearly basis. This has been attributed to unsafe intersections, among other conditions such as the faded markings.
The road markings are supposed to last for about 2 years. And so usually when a road construction is taking place, it is part of the contract. So they do it as part of the road makeup. But over time, over the 24 months period, it fades out.
At night or when it rains, these road markings are virtually invisible. And it is even deadlier at areas where there are non-functioning street lights, just like here. A raging public concern, one that touches the souls of many Ghanaians. Yes, it needs urgent attention and action.
I took a ride in the night across the capital, Accra, and spotted few reflectors on some roads. And it is worth a mention that some road networks have well-marked lines. But crash survivors like Foster, who luckily regained his leg, have a simple plea.
I'm pleading to the government to fix our roads for us, They should use correct items, facilities for the roads.
It's about time we take our road maintenance seriously, because if we don't remark the road after 2 years, as experts say, the dangers are a lot, and we are all road users. It doesn't matter whether you are driving today, or you are walking, or you are riding.
With the markings absent, drivers are prone to miss zebra crossings, switch lanes wrongly, and crash pedestrians. A raging concern for adequate investment towards sustainable road infrastructure across the country. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
That's it for the bulletin this morning. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Godwin Asideba. New Day continues shortly with the team. Stay with us and have a good morning. Bye.